Hey guys, I bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night. Thanks for watching, being part of the transmission. Just some downtime here on a Sunday, and I want to make this video. We discussed this last night on Mike in the Night, and I kind of want to bring it up on an independent video so you guys could see it here. Canada's turning into an open air prison. It's getting harder and harder for Canadians to cross or go into the U.S. It's always been difficult for Canadians to cross or go into the U.S. It always has been. It's never been a secret. It's me, people I know, other people that have emailed me over the years have discussed their problems with just going to visit the U.S. to visit family. Right? I myself was imprisoned or put into a cell for a bunch of hours and strip search just to go into the U.S. to, what was I going to do? I just wanted to do some cross-border shopping. And so I kind of wanted to throw this out there where Canada's becoming a more and more open-air prison. Canadians have been being punished for the longest time now. And this is something I've been advocating and talking about and protesting about and yelling about for over 10 years. Most of the videos are still up on YouTube, you could see, over the last 10 years. So I'm not just some guy that arrived 3 years ago or 2 years ago with a message with post-dictions. I've been warning and I've been telling and trying to get people to wake up in Canada that once the middle class goes, once first-time homebuyers can get into a housing market, once the disposable income goes, once interest rates start to creep upwards to hedge against this double-digit inflation, we have no more Canada. We are open border policy, exporting homes to China. We've been basically destroying ourselves at every level. All right, guys, if you want to join us, please come and join us on Odyssey here for Mike in the Night. Mike in the Night is fantastic. Last night's episode, 476, and we had some pretty... Excuse me. We had some pretty cool guests on last night, and, I wish you guys to go on and check it out. And there's the episode there. And we had Kevin J. Johnston on yesterday. We had... Who else do we have on here? I think we had... let's see. We got some pretty good guests here. Hold on a sec. Uneducated Economist came on to be with us and talk. And it's really good. Really good show. So if you guys want to pick it up, it's on Odyssey. Mike of the Night, 476. And we're also on Rumble. People keep asking. We do have a Rumble account, but it doesn't have many followers. But you could go on Rumble. We're on Rumble. So you could go ahead and check us out there if you'd like. I'd appreciate that. If you'd like, go on and check us out there. And all right, what's going on? Well, here it is. Man who died near Quebec migrant crossing had been trying to enter the U.S., police say. So this is Global News reporting this. Let's go over to True North. Now, if you're in Canada, if you're in any English-speaking country in the world, and you want to know or you want to get the down low on what's really happening in Canada, politically, economically, the whole 9-yard, whatever you need to know about, if you really want to know what's happening in Canada, go to True North. True North has been doing an incredibly good job picking up what the mainstream media lacks in basically getting the true message out. So hats off to True North. Good job, guys. So 44-year-old Montreal man died attempting to cross into the United States via Roxham Road. What is Roxham Road, you Americans are asking? Well, that's the illegal border entry that's legal for migrants to come in, but it's for illegal migrants that are escaping America or Trump's America or a bunch of gambling debt or owe money to the mob or something. They come to Roxham Road. And so this is what True North's been covering. This is from July 4th, 2022. Trudeau government to ship Roxham Road illegal border crossers into Ontario. Taxpayers footing hotel bills for illegal Roxham Road crossers, March 14, 2022. January 25th, 2022, 2,800 illegal border crossers entered through Roxham Road in December. And so there it is right there. You can get the full story on what's happening there on that. And that's the way. This is what Canada wants. I'm going to show you what Canada wants. Canada wants this. I typed in American Southern Border 2023. This is what Canada wants. Canada wants quick destruction of its middle class by bringing in more people. But because we don't border Mexico or other countries where they've been economically sanctioned and destroyed by other superpowers for drilling their own oil, let's say, or mining for their own gold, and being punished for trying to make their country good, basically, I'm not going to get to that right now, but you know what I'm saying. So when the third world dies, the first world burns, right? As we've been saying that on here for almost 10 years. 44-year-old man, so Montreal dies. So what happened? 44-year-old Montreal man has died attempting to cross the illegal Roxham Road border crossing into the U.S. So he's not coming from the U.S. because he'd have his luggage picked up by the RCMP and basically on the Canadian side and be brought in and transported and everything. But no, he was going into the U.S. What was he going into the U.S. for? On Friday, Surete du Quebec announced that the body of Fritznel Richard was discovered by U.S. Border Services helicopter on the Canadian side of the border. Mr. Fritznel would have tried, according to the investigation, to join a member of his family living in the United States and would have died during the unfortunate attempt, said SQ press release. Okay, let's break this down because none of this is making any sense. It's true. Okay, they're reporting it right. What doesn't make sense? A man is going to visit his family in the U.S. and he has to use an illegal border crossing? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Because that's how bad it's getting in Canada. They don't want Canadians to escape. We're an open-air prison, and they offer us now euthanasia when you go renew your passport. They ask you, or renew or update your passport or fix something on your passport. They ask you, the people working there ask you, have you ever considered euthanasia? So they are basically really trying to push the fast-forward button on eliminating Canadian middle class in this open-air prison, and they're making it impossible. And now they created mandates to get into the U.S. from the Canadian side. You know what mandates we're talking about. We can't talk about here, but we do talk about it on Mike and the Night on Odyssey. So there it is, right? So we'll leave it at that for that. But check out True North for the full story. Why are Canadians running? Well, let's go check out Better Dwelling. Now, if you want to know what's happening in real estate in Canada, you go to Better Dwelling. And what's Better Dwelling reporting here? And let me just move myself over here. What is Better Dwelling reporting here? Well, they're reporting a lot of things. So this is one reason why people want to mass exodus Canada in a frantic pace. Toronto real estate is the world's largest bubble. It's officially crashing. Canadian real estate bubble may crash until 2025 as indicator, so people have to wait around for years to see a correction in their own country. Canadian detached home prices are plummeting, and here are the hardest hit markets. So you're probably in the States wondering, who cares? The housing is correcting. That's good for you guys. No, it's pretty bad because a lot of people to buy an apartment in this condo they paid $800,000, not pesos, 800,000 Canadian dollars to buy a 1 or 2 bedroom in one of these condo towers. That's what's happened. We have basically been heavily dependent on real estate. Canadian home equity loans surge after regulator warnings. What have we been talking about on this channel? People using their homes as ATM machines 10 years ago. And people are borrowing on their homes to eat. And so there's Better Dwelling. If you guys want to check them out, please go check them out. I've been following these guys for pretty much since I found them back in, I think, 2015. Or 2016? I don't even remember. Look at my videos, you'll find. And what we've been talking about on this channel, low income can't afford rent in 91% of Canadian cities. This was 2 years ago. So Canadians already were heading towards the exits or looking for a way to get out of Canada. Economic takeover of Portland as it matches Seattle, severely unaffordable. That's in Portland. The Lost Canuck housing becoming more unaffordable, wages not keeping up. Canadian middle class disappearing, Target closing in Canada, food becoming, I think it's unaffordable. Yeah, unaffordable. Toronto housing severely unaffordable, and this is 5 years ago, folks. So Canadians have there's $1 million house right there. Housing, Vancouver, housing severely unaffordable, Vancouver. Canadian proper living in Vancouver, see bankruptcies jump almost 18% 5 years ago. Money laundering by foreigners destroying housing affordability 3 years ago. Banning foreign home buyers 3 years ago. Get out now, Toronto mass exodus, housing crisis. They will tax us to death, I think, 4 years ago. Tax us to death. Students turned down college courses because of $1,900 a month rent for a one bedroom 5 years ago. Toronto's real estate market out of control 5 years ago. And people are thinking, well, Mike, that's one city in Canada. We don't have many cities in Canada. And I said this last night on Mike of the Night. Vancouver would be Miami, okay? Vancouver, Miami, okay? Then Edmonton would be Tampa Bay. Calgary would be Jacksonville. Okay, Winnipeg would be Orlando. Toronto would be, so you see, like Florida alone just outweighs the infrastructure, the people, the affordability, the cost of. That's just an example, right? Because I know a lot of cities in Florida. That's why I picked Florida. You know what I'm saying? But you see where I'm going with this, folks, right? So we are in an open air prison. Affordability's out of reach. Wages are not keeping up with housing for over 10 years now. So I'm not trying to post-dict here and be a hero. I'm telling you, this is something, you know what I'm saying? We've been on very, I don't know how to say, very, we're on the horn about this. We were really warning people as much as we can. I'm pretty sure if you type in ATM on the channel, yeah, there it is. And this is something that people have been doing. Housing, ATM machines, massive default ahead, people taking out too much debt. Canadian housing disaster, people using homes as ATM machines. People eating off their homes, ATM machines, over 82% of Toronto's debt 4 years ago. Homeowners are new ATM machines 6 years ago. People are house broke, using equity in their homes as ATM machines. Like, this is homeowners going broke. So this is why Canadians want to get the hell out and try to get into, wow, I just flipped it to another studio there. Try to flip it into the United States, right? Or try to, so this is what I'm thinking here. I'm thinking that there's the American southern border, and basically it's pretty much wide open and what's been happening. And I kind of want to throw this out there too. Like, there's the border right there. So people are saying, Mike, that's a very big border to patrol. Look at that border, Mike. What are you talking about? No, look at the Canadian border, 5,525 miles. And the Canadian border, let me tell you something about the Canadian border. They tackle you. You walk through a random cornfield in Canada connected to the U.S., they tackle you. They got, and again, I've said this many times. They have ground penetrating radar in Canadian-U.S. Border. They have laser radar. They have detection. They have everything. If you're a Canadian and you want to wander down to the U.S., they'll swat you and throw you back into Canada and give you a 5-year reprimand or something. You can't come into the States for 5 years type of thing. So this is becoming a bigger and bigger problem. I'm not trying to, create anything that's, I'm just letting you guys know that this is becoming a more and more open air prison, as now they are offering us in public sector, government sector locations that basically, I think mainly at the federal level, if you've decided or chosen euthanasia, right? So there it is right there. So what I'm thinking is people are selling these houses in Canada. So this is something we've been covering here. These $3.9 million junk heaps that are selling in Canada. That's $3.9 million. Like houses like this, like $1.67 million. I made this video with my friend. Housing sold reaction for housing sold for what price? $1 million garage in Toronto. Toronto housing ripoff. $2.29 million for this thing. So, like, massive housing ripoff. So, I think what's happening is people are selling these multi-million-dollar shacks, right? So this is a video I made here, and there it is right there. Sold for 3.7 or something million dollars, right? Now, I think what's happening is people are just going stateside, and they're realizing how many Like, so when people say, when I show an American this house and look at that, 105,000, 7 bedrooms, an American will look at me and say, Mike, that's in the ghetto or whatever. Then what is this in Canada? If that's the ghetto, then what is this in Canada for $3.9 million? And that's what I've been trying to show. Like, if, somebody like something like this, 89,000, 5 bedrooms, a Canadian would die to go there, start a family, hardworking, just to get a little piece of the free life. You know what I'm saying? And I have multiple pages here, pages upon pages upon pages. And the weather's actually a lot better down there too. Pages and pages. Look at this thing. Pages of brick, wood. Look at that. Look at that, folks. Pages upon pages. And I think this is what Canadians want to get out for, to try have a taste of the good life of what we had back in the 80s and 90s in Canada. Until 1993 when they closed immigration from Europeans. And there it is right there, folks. There's just pages upon pages upon pages. Whatever house you want, a burnt house too, there it is, 39 grand. Not $3.9 million, right? And then people are going to say location, location, location. Well, this is warmer. And the property taxes are probably 95% cheaper. Just there it is right there, folks. I don't know what to say anymore. I believe that Canada is becoming an open-air prison. Now, if America wants to fix its southern border, do what it does. Look at that, 5,525 miles Canadian. So that's 8,891 kilometers, right? I think America needs to do what it's doing on its northern border, and there is mandates to get across. Still mandates in 2023 January. They're gonna keep it until April. They're gonna keep mandates open till April for Canadians to travel to the U.S. with the mandates. So they're making it harder and harder for Canadians to basically just live a basic life. People want to live in peace. The taxation is out of control. They are literally taxing us to death. And let's go back to the channel. This is our channel here. This is our channel time machine. And, oops, let's type in taxing here. Let's type in taxing. Here it is. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, they've been talking about taxing to entering a city. They want people to... Toronto taxed to death, turning the city into empty shell 3 years ago. Let's see what we got. They are working towards a fake energy shortage. Oil wars ahead 4 years ago. I'm trying to think. I'm paying $3,500 property tax in the town I live in with 2 stoplights. Get out of Toronto by 2020. Top 10 reasons why I left Toronto. Middle class to disappear by 2023. At this rate, housing is going up, and not to mention taxation 5 years ago. So, big box stores under the axe, massive closures by 2021. 5 years ago. One after another. I made this one recently. Australians, don't borrow your way out of a recession. And I've been doing everything I can, guys, to get this message out that we here in Canada, nothing is fair, right? Nothing in life is fair, or nothing is free, but it comes to a level where people, here, look at this. Canadian government attack on the private sector, more tax hikes, 23% by 2020. So, Canadians fleeing Ontario, Canada in a frantic pace, now severely unaffordable. So, this is becoming a major, major problem, and I do wholeheartedly believe we are an open-air prison. I don't know what to say anymore. I've been saying it for so long, and unfortunately, no one's really ever saw anything. I mean, some people have seen what I've saw, and a majority of the stuff that I've gotten a lot of bashing and ridicule from people because when you're predicting things 5, 6, 7 years ago, people look at you like you're a nut job or a nut bar. But then now that things are coming to light and are actually coming and happening, nobody acknowledges or nobody cares anymore. They're like, oh, you were right, so what? you're still a nut job. So, anyways, I wanted to get this message out and get this out there for you guys. And I really appreciate you guys watching the channel and being part and subscribing. And let me know in the comments below what you guys feel. Are we in an open-air prison now in Canada? Are they making it hard for us to travel and get out with all these flight problems and delays and losing luggage and just keeping people put? Is that what they're trying to do? Because Canada's dream would be bordering a country like Pakistan or something to bring in more. That's my opinion. I think they would love that. The Canadian administration would love to sink us and punish us more, right? And that's why we have the Roxham Road there, to let in illegal Americans. Well, they're not illegal because Canada's accepting them, right? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of the day with my family. Mike Martin's here. I have spoken.